Hi everyone, my name is Yvonne Ellis. My dyad partner and I chose the condition of anorexia, or what is known as anorexia nervosa, or AN. My portion, as role B, was to summarize an article on anorexia nervosa and find at least 3 government websites on this condition. Researching anorexia was captivating. There was a lot of information, but the article I finally decided to write on was from the website Psychology Today, called Eating Disorders. 2 things happened to me during this research. One was the myth that people with eating disorders have a choice. That myth was shattered. Anorexia nervosa reminds me much of addiction. The condition is not only physical but also mental. A lot of people could, and probably even should, suffer from anorexia nervosa, but somehow never go into the abyss, while others do. According to my research, I am a likely candidate for this disorder, because some of the symptoms are, and I fit them, being obsessed about your body weight, limiting the intake of food, or in my case, I limit my intake of carbs to lose weight, and avoid some events because of the foods that will be served. Now, I don't really fit into that one, but I do go to places and say, I don't eat that, I can't eat that, I don't eat that. So I feel like I am a good candidate for this disease. Thanks to this research, I am now aware of the symptoms, and I'm watching my own attitude towards my body image. The second thing I learned, and this was the one that hurt the most, is that there are websites that actually instruct and give people ideas on how to hide their eating disorders, so they can continue in their sickness, without being detected. One suggestion was to cover their lies by throwing out the food they would say that they ate. For example, say someone asked you, did you eat breakfast? And you say, yes, I ate 3 eggs. Well, you would throw the 3 eggs out so that you could validate your lie and get people to stop asking you if you ate. I knew we lived in a cruel world, but, well, enough said. As the clinician, we need to be aware of these things and more to help our clients overcome their condition. To understand anorexia, we need to first understand eating disorders. All eating disorders start with an unusual connection with food. Eating disorders are psychological conditions with both emotional and physical symptoms. Eating disorders can become so consuming that eating or not eating, depending on the disorder, becomes the main focus of the person's life. Anorexia nervosa is a lonely disease, somewhat like addiction. It demands that the person affected live an isolated life to hide from the world what is happening to them. It is hard to detect, especially in the beginning, because we all have to eat. Eating is normal and natural. Anorexia nervosa is very subtle, and it's born out of a skewed mindset because the person is overweight or that they have to fit the status quo of their societal norms to be accepted. The article also states that the disorder happens mainly to teens or middle-aged women, but it is also happening to men, to our elderly, to those who are attempting to start dating again, and even homosexuals. In the beginning, the choice to restrict eating is barely noticeable. Most people who suffer from anorexia nervosa are literally starving themselves. The people with anorexia nervosa may start out restricting the intake of their calories by restricting what they eat or how much they eat, or by eating and then purging just so they can lose weight. This disease can also manifest itself in the form of exercising. Subtly, the disease will take the person from wanting to restrict their eating or wanting to exercise to obsessing about them, to a point where they have to do it. They no longer have a choice. At this stage, many co-occurring disorders may attach themselves, such as malnutrition, muscle weakness, yellowing of the skin, or jaundice. And that's just to name a few. Some people have even died from anorexia nervosa. Because the disorder is co-occurring, treatment must be multi-layered. There will be a need for mental and physical treatment, maybe even in a hospital or inpatient rehabilitation. Understand, this disorder can only be arrested. There is no absolute cure. So the 4 governmental agencies that I chose to cite are the National Eating Disorder Agency. It's not going to work. I'm only at 7. I apologize. The National Eating Disorder Agency at www.nationaleatingdisorder.org/learn/by-eating-disorder/anorexia. Another one is the National Institute of Mental Health, and that can be found at www.nih.gov/health/topics/eating-disorders/index.html. The National Association of AN and Other Disorders at anad.org. And there are also governmental sites that give a plethora of resources, like the Eating Disorder Resource Guide at www.edcatalogur, that's edcatalog.com/organizations. And then there is a site or a fellowship that I know of called graysheet.org. It is a great site as well. I didn't mention it in the actual presentation for several reasons. I know of people who have successfully found a better way to eat through this fellowship, but it is not a government website. Gray Sheets focuses on overeating, and it is a fellowship of men and women for whom eating have become a major problem. But for those who eat and purge, this may be a good resource because it focuses on eating correctly. Also, I did not list any of the sites that help or show sufferers how to hide their disease. I am not certain if I did that being judgmental or just to protect myself. As the clinician, This could be a great resource. If I ever service anyone that shows symptoms of anorexia nervosa, I will look into it further. But for now, because how I am a great candidate for this disorder, I am not going to research these sites. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.